Hello, welcome back to the Archway podcast. My name is Archie Murray and I'm your podcast host. And today we're going to be talking about living in London for the first time. If you think the sound quality is a bit better, it's because I'm trying out my brand new microphone. I'm literally wearing headphones. I've got a microphone in front of me. I feel like I'm doing a proper podcast right now. We're going to talk a bit about living in London, what it's like, and finding accommodation when you're a uni student, what's a student life like, especially living in student accommodation, and also some cool things that you can do around here. And then of course the last thing, which is brand new to me, which is living by yourself in a flat. So let's get into it. Okay, so basically when I started university, I went into student accommodation, and this was during lockdown, during COVID-19. Now we all remember what COVID-19 was like, especially moving into a brand new place that you know that you're going to be in 24/7 with a bunch of strangers that you've never met before. Can also be quite scary. So I was very lucky that I was able to do some planning and everything else to make sure that I knew exactly what I wanted. And I looked around, and luckily I found a brilliant place called McLaren House, which is a part of LSBU, and I stayed there. I was in floor 7, flat 3, I think. I can't remember the exact one, but it was nice. I had my own room, I had my own bathroom, and then the only thing that I shared was a kitchen and living room, which became kind of the social areas, because of course when in lockdown we were all stuck in our little bubbles and stuff, and my bubble was my flat. So I met some really nice people there, and one of the best things to do is actually just to organise a bit of a flat party just together, or cook, or do something just to make sure that you can meet those people. One of the things I do not recommend is having a trunk full of alcohol, because you know it's going to be drunk by the first night, which is definitely what I found out when I started. The second thing that I started to kind of realise, especially living in accommodation, sorry there's a siren going past, was basically a kind of, this siren's really annoying. I can hear it. So basically the second thing is food and everything else. This accommodation didn't have food prepared. I had to prepare it myself, and that's where I started to get my enjoyment of cooking. One of the most recent things that I started on TikTok was Chef Archie, which is apparently something that is very popular on my lives, like cooking with Archie and stuff, which is really cool. So I kind of tested out what I was good at cooking, what I wasn't, and I kind of asked my parents, okay, let's try and find out what's good at cooking. Another thing that I really enjoyed about living in student accommodation was how many people you live with. You don't actually realise how many people are in this block or anything like that. So that was really cool, and kind of meeting new people, especially from different courses when it came to collaboration and everything else. That really did help. So I really enjoyed that, and I found that so much more enjoyable than when it came to living by myself as now, because it's more just about me and I get to invite people, but that's a complete different thing. Okay, so then the second thing is, of course, what is there to do in London as a student? What is affordable? I'm stuck on a budget. I don't know what to do. Okay, so once lockdown had finished, I was in the second year. So my first year was kind of a bit ruined. So I didn't really get that first year experience at university, which I kind of really were disappointed about. And it kind of was really annoying that I didn't get that university experience, that American version, living with a flatmate, going out, getting drunk, going hungover to the next day to your lecture, that kind of stuff. I didn't really get that. I didn't really get that kind of experience, but I kind of wish I did. I'm getting it more now I'm in my master's. So that was really good. So one of the places I highly recommend if you're in the South Bank area is Ministry of Sound. I've had some of the best nights at Ministry of Sound. One of the best nights I actually had was this thing called Glow in the Dark Party, which is basically you go in clothes, be prepared that they are going to get mucky and covered in paint, and they have glow in the dark paint which you just chuck over yourself, and you can do cool designs and everything else, and it glows, and that's basically it. The drinks are kind of a bit expensive, but if you kind of have pre's before you go in, and then you'll kind of enjoy it. And they have two sections. So one of the sections is more drum and bass, and then the other one's more universal stuff, which is really cool. And they have these robots that look from Daft Punk. If you've ever heard of the band Daft Punk, that's a really good idea that they have. A second thing that I really enjoyed, and I don't know if that many people will be interested in this, but I actually went on walks quite a lot. So people ask, how do you know London so well? And I said to them, I went on walks and I moved here and remembered where landmarks are, and landmarks are your pinpoints, if that makes sense, which is brilliant. And I really enjoyed that, and I kind of was like, oh my god, I now know where I am because of a landmark. So I used to walk into Covent Garden, Trafalgar Square, Leicester Square. I also went up to like British Museum and stuff like this, and I did stuff that was kind of a bit out of my comfort zone, to just trying to get used to London. And one of the things that I really did enjoy actually doing while I was in university and living in accommodation was basically being able to plan stuff out and cook with friends. So one of the things I did, which I've never done before, was I cooked a Christmas dinner by myself. Yeah, I know, so much stuff to do, but it was so good because it actually taught me about like loads of stuff to do with cooking. I don't know why I'm talking about cooking when we're supposed to be talking about flat accommodations, but never mind. So that was really good, and that kind of taught me about timings and everything else. So I do understand if you do struggle with finding stuff to do and like finding struggle to like cook and stuff, because you probably just want to go out to the nearest takeaway and get something there. I have done that a couple of times, I will agree. Okay, so then the newest thing that I've basically moved into is my own flat. I'm now in my own flat. I'm recording in literally the kitchen / living room. And for the last 2 weeks, I've had friends over non-stop. Like, I think my spare room is like a hostel. So I live in a 2-bedroom flat on the opposite side of my brother, which is where I was during second and third year of university. And I'm in here by myself. And I didn't really think I would get up to this point. I had always wanted to move out into my own place, call myself a place my own home, or as you say, and put up stuff. So basically for the last 2 weeks, I have been moving stuff in, which has been a heck of a long journey. And also been doing stuff like building IKEA equipment, cooking by myself, cleaning, doing all this kind of stuff that I'm not really used to being in the flat, like making sure that I have enough food in the house and all this. And one of the things I have really enjoyed is basically being able to have my friends over. So I've been able to have my friends over. They've been able to stay over for more than 2 or 3 days, and basically just have enjoyment with them and not have anyone else interrupt, because that was one of the things that I had when I was living with my brother. Me and him had completely different lifestyles, completely different time zones. I was going to university, he was going to work, so we kind of had to deal with those kind of different time zones, and cooking became quite problematic due to the fact that I wanted to cook at a certain time, he wanted to cook, and sometimes they clashed, but then slowly we worked it out. So that was really, really fun. And then another thing that I've really enjoyed is basically having 2 social places. Not many people think about social places, but I actually do. So for me, when I'm working, especially as a film student, or if I'm doing a podcast and stuff like this, I don't want to do it in my bedroom, because if I do it in my bedroom, then that becomes my work / sleep space. Then I don't have like a universal fun place. So that has been really cool. And kind of setting them up. So I've had a PS4 at home. I've never played it, and there was 2 games I've always wanted to play with. So it's The Last of Us. So literally this week I've been playing Last of Us, which has been so much fun. And also one of the things that I said to myself when I was going to move into here was basically start doing my podcast, which of course you guys are listening to, which is crazy. So it's been really enjoyable, and there has been some stresses and stuff, especially when it came to TikTok lives. So I would try and do TikTok lives almost every single day, which I will say, it used to kill me. I was so tired by the end, being like, oh my God, I cannot do this anymore. This is so stressful. But then sometimes I was like, actually, I love doing this, because I was able to speak to my TikTok friends. And the people that actually helped me move in and helped me have the flat warming party were my TikTok friends. So shout out to the Heartstopper gang. We love you loads. And it was so cool. So I basically had 2 of my friends. So I had my best friend, Holly Sinclair, and oh my God, she's amazing. And I also have my brand new friends I only met at Baby Queen, which was really cool, which is going to be a separate episode. And that was Raf. And he's brilliant. And basically they helped me move most of my stuff up on the first day that I moved in. So I got my keys and literally was like, okay guys, we're going to have to move in. Let's go. So we did, which was really good. And then I also had that kind of passed. Raf stayed for 2 days, which was really nice, having him around, just like spending time with him that I wouldn't normally do. And then basically the next one after that, I had, of course, the flat warming party, which I didn't plan very well, because I didn't realise I had university on the day. So I had to go in, pitch this film idea, and then come back and be like, woo, I'm in party mode. And that was really fun. And I had about 6 people here. So I had Megs, Megan, Raf, Tom, me, which was kind of a bit confusing, because it's like 2 doubles and then 2 singles, if that makes sense. So that was really, really fun. And sorting out like alcohol and everything else, making sure I have an alcohol cupboard. The next day, which was the most like annoying thing when you live by yourself, is you have to tidy up your space, because if you don't tidy up your space, you don't do your washing up, you won't be able to eat. That's literally what I thought. So I hope you guys have massively enjoyed this. I have never done like a podcast setup like this before, so it's always been really fun and it's kind of interesting. I actually really like it. So if you did enjoy this, do press the subscribe button. We are almost at 60 subscribers. That is absolutely crazy. I will say this week is going to be released. It's going to be my brand new film that I've done in my master's called Together. It's coming out on Friday. It's going to be so good. I've got the screening that day, so I'm going to do a whole podcast episode on that. And yeah, that was really fun. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next video. Bye!